Live from the Hideaway on their extremely clean patio, well groomed patio. Here we are. It's Levack and Goz, and it's the first of many Sunday morning shows live from the Hideaway. Big golf tournament going on today. A lot of guys in kilts, so the Hiberians are out here swinging clubs.
Can we show the guy? Oh, he already walked away. The guy in the kilt. I would have sold the
there's a
camera
couple
around.
up the hill. No, you'll see a lot of them. The Hiberians have their tournament today, so they're here. They're here. So.
Come join us. Say hello to us. Our marketing strategy today has been a little lower budget than usual. Somebody from Godzilla Media forgot to bring a sign and shirt and hat. I would describe, for those listening on the audio side of this, if you want to see how I look right now, it's a mix between Jimmy Neutron, Johnny Bravo, and just oil.
And meth.
No
like
meth.
If Jimmy Neutron and Johnny Bravo did meth, Goz.
Johnny Bravo was just really hairy. That's what you're looking at today, and oily.
What was it? Didn't he have like a catchphrase? Wasn't he like who or something? I don't know. Yeah, was that?
That might have been something like that.
It was something ridiculous. I'm too old for that one. I have a different kind of hangover today. It's not an alcohol based hangover at all. Just quick audible. It's a U Albany hangover. Worked my first losing game in, I think it's been 3 years since I've been on the field in a losing effort. Now I'm not saying that I'm responsible for all the wins, but I'm also not saying I'm not. So
you're still undefeated when you think about it. The team lost. You're still undefeated.
Victories have a million fathers, but losses are orphans. Is that the saying?
That's right. My teammates lost. Eigen won the game.
Yeah, it was a harsh loss. It was a weird game. It really was. It was an all around odd game, if we're being perfectly honest. You could kind of just. I felt like from where I was standing, the real issue was the Great Danes came out overhyped. They were ready to punch somebody in the mouth after the game, a week ago to North Dakota State where they the defense played a great game and then late, succumbed to just North Dakota State being a better team. And then I think they tried to get back into like in the pocket in the zone. And maybe a little too lackadaisical for a second, but then Carl Mulford took off in the second half. It was weird. There was never a point where either one of the teams looked like they were really going to take away the game last night, Rhode Island or Albany. But obviously, Rhode Island did enough, got the win, and Albany starts off 0-2.
Even though you were working, I was texting you in that fourth quarter about different things and different updates. I believe the text I sent you late on yesterday night was Albany just needed one more stop, it felt like.
Yeah.
Like they were so close to finishing that game off, and players know this and coaches know this. The fourth quarter in particular, like that's why you run the sprints, that's why you do the offseason conditioning, all that stuff. You hope that when the fourth quarter matters, and you see every team from high school to the NFL raise the four fingers in the air they owe in the fourth. Like everybody does that now. It was just Albany was just a possession, a play, a tackle. They seem so really like, and this really close, evenly matched teams last night. Like if they played 10 times, I honestly feel like it'd be 5-5. That's how good both those teams were.
And I mean, listen, transfer portal played huge. We joked earlier yesterday that we know every Rhode Island team. They're the same team. Well, you don't know this Rhode Island team because the quarterback's from Maryland. This one's from here. This one's from there. They're all like, Kasim Hill. What he took multiple Power 5 teams, into the fourth quarter with Maryland, and now. He's playing against Albany, and he played a good game. It wasn't a great game. It just felt like not who's gonna have the ball last, because obviously Albany had a chance to score late. It just felt like one of those games where they were pretty evenly matched. Nobody played a great game. Rhode Island played a slightly better lousy game than Albany did.
Hurts to lose those conference games at home too. You and I have talked all about the schedule. It would have been so nice for Albany to be 1-1 going to the Syracuse game, and then you have that win under your belt and have some momentum building for the season. Because, look, after the Syracuse game, you got Delaware and William & Mary back-to-back road games. Those are tough. Like, there is not going to be a game for those first 5. We've said this since August, that Albany's going to run away with something. Like these dog fights in the fourth quarter are going to sum up, I guess pun intended for a Great Dane.
Right.
That's going to sum up maybe the entire season, but at least the next few games for sure.
And the hometown hero celebration, real great job by Albany. You had flyover in the pregame. We had World War II vets on the field. the multiple police organizations from around the area, come out, and canine units, which if there's one critique for my friends at UAlbany, I have one small critique. No one thought of the fact that we need to get the canine units away from the stadium before we start fireworks.
Oh,
yeah, we got it done. Luckily, I can't think. I didn't get to turn the deputy's name. But a member of the sheriff's department was like, "I'm gonna need to get out of here." I was like, "Look, how long do you think you need?" She goes, "I need 35 seconds." I go, "All right." So while the guy's reading the script, I'm looking at everybody. And I'm like, "Wave and walk, wave and walk," and they're just waving and taking off. And they're like, you can tell Josh, who's the guy reading the script up there. He's like, "Where are they going?" I'm like, We're saving some puppies today, man. And great fireworks show the whole night. It was great. It was a great night. It just obviously you wish that 16-14 was the other way around. That's all. But that's my hangover from being on the field and seeing that. And Undercuffler, 1935, 166 yards, touchdown pass. Couple throws, didn't seem like Undercuffler throws. I also think we forget that these guys, they haven't played in forever. They're still getting it together. So it was sad. It sucked. It was a loss. And I know I stayed as far away from Coach Gattuso as humanly possible afterwards. They were like, "Hey, you want to go put a mic in his face?" I'm like, "Nope." And I'm like, "You give me hazard pay?" No, I'm out. Peace. Bye.
You had to deal with enough of that for Coach Manas during the half times. He used to those interesting conversations. Greg Popovich, it felt like the late Craig Sager and others out there. You guys were channeling.
The worst was like Coach Manas would always feel bad about it later. Like that night, I get a phone call, or Monday when I was in the office, he'd come see me, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm not mad." Like you walk up to a coach after and it seemed like all season, even though the Albany Empire lose one game, win a championship, last 8 seconds of a first half, Albany Empire give a touchdown
every time.
Didn't matter who was out. And in a very weird scenario, the other team only has 2 players on the field. Still throw a touchdown with 8 seconds left against the Albany. That was just the way it was. But yeah, I'm fine with that stuff. I was like, the camera had shut down on us. A couple other things. I'm like, the only reason I go over there right now is you guys want to see me put my head in a lion's mouth. That's the only reason to go mess with Gattuso at this exact moment in time. So I'm not doing it.
It is entertaining to watch. It was great to watch that happen. Back to Undercuffler real quick. Look, his numbers are not. It's very early in the season still. When he was a freshman, you lead the FCS in passing touchdowns as a freshman. That's where your bar gets set. Like, okay, right. If you're one of the more prolific statistical quarterbacks at that level of football, that's what you're going to expect. So, like, even when you read through the box score there, like the stat lines, I'm like, oh, that's kind of like a disappointing game, but they almost won. So it's like there's this weird balance of how do we judge a quarterback's success? Is it simple as wins and losses, which some people don't believe that's a quarterback stat? Is it
for you?
My cell phone ringing? Man, I'm on fire today with this.
Who's it?
My cousin.
What's up, cousin?
Hey,
are you
Justin,
watching?
How are you?
Because we're on Godzilla's YouTube. We're on the Hideaway's Facebook page. We're on the Techies Fire and Water Facebook page, and he's calling it. Here he comes. Are you texting him?
I'm going to say at Hideaway.
There you go.
I was going to say about Undercuffler. He looks more mature. Right?
It's the mustache.
Is it? The mustache, the tattoo, the build. We knew him as a kid, and he doesn't look like a kid anymore out there.
No, I mean, well, you figure he's got to be 15 pounds heavier than when we first met him.
For sure.
And he looks like he belongs. He does belong. It's just this was not a good game. They just didn't have a great game, but it was neither did Rhode Island. It realistically just wasn't a great game as far as that went. But I will give a lot of love to the UAlbany student section. I think we had more people at that game than I've ever seen at a UAlbany game. Perfect weather. Hometown Heroes Night, students that filled the berm. I think we had over 5,000 people there.
That's
easy.
Great.
So, hopefully they saw enough of Carl Mofort running around. Undercuffler did flash some brilliance out there. Was Alexander's it's bad man. And there's it, Oda Coven. He's always fun to watch. We started calling him Big Fundamental. He just does everything right. Doesn't do anything super flashy. Just does everything right. So hopefully they all come back. Because it was good, and it was good to see everybody support the Great Danes. Would have loved, and I know the Great Danes would have loved to come out of it with a victory for everybody. Next home game is you got to wait all the way to October 16th when they host Villanova. So a little time for that one. 3:30 game. That was the last night game of the year for the Great Danes, unless they go to the playoffs.
Last night game of the year. Fix it. Make him have more.
Remember, you know how cold it gets, though.
Oh, yeah, it gets
you know.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
It's one thing to say that. I was wearing a hoodie last night, but it's like, you're sweating. I go, I'm sweating now. 15, 20 minutes now, I'm going to be comfortable. You guys are going to be dying. Mm-hmm. But no, so UA down 0-2, start the season. But there were good things that happened. Yesterday's college football slate.
Yes.
Quack, quack. Quack, quack, mother trucker. Quack, quack. Quack, quack.
That game, Oregon, shocking the college football world. We're talking about a 3-touchdown difference. They were a dog in that game. They go to Columbus, and they flat out beat Ohio State. Even though Oregon doesn't have Thibodeau, who's likely going to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft coming up, even though Corey and Greenwich called the upset.
He did call the upset.
And I laughed at him and said, ha, ha, ha. They still went out. And it wasn't like one player had an unbelievable game. It was Mario Cristobal, the coach for the Ducks, outcoached Ryan Day, which has not happened in Day's career yet. Offensive, defensive, special teams, across the board, every side of the ball, Oregon was better. The Ohio State wide receivers are still really good, but across the board, Oregon was always the best team from kickoff until the end of that game, and that was the most surprising part about it.
Ohio State is overrated this year. This year they are. Look, you can't deny what they've been. You can't deny what they're probably going to be. And to be perfectly honest with you, bear with me on this one. Levack and Goz live from the Hideaway. Rate, subscribe, and use the 3-wood off the tee on the 8th hole.
So close.
Oh, sorry. It could be a blessing if they don't have a playoff team this year. Because if they
Ohio State?
Yeah, think about this. You go barnstorming into the playoffs again, God forbid, maybe even win a national championship, Ryan Day's gone. Ryan Day's going to the NFL. You have one down year where you only win 10 and you play on New Year's Day. Oh, you poor SOBs. Then you probably keep another 2-3 years and become a dominant force straight through even longer.
Yeah, Ohio State's kind of in this discussion. I see where you're going with this, where there are certain programs, and especially if you're an SEC football fan, like every program thinks every year they should win the national championship. And I think Ohio State puts themselves in that discussion because they won with Urban Meyer. They lost last season. They're in the mix every year to win one. And like any other program, they want to continue to win one. But what you're saying is, hey, we're building something here. We are considered a national powerhouse. It's going to be really difficult to go from – even Jim Tressel's in this mix. Like, Jim Tressel was a really good college football coach. And how that thing ended with, like, players getting free tattoos. Think back of that, 15 years later, like, right. Oh, you mean NIL? Like, that's why he got thrown out? And then Urban Meyer, the situation that happened with him, and now Ryan Day. Those are really good coaches that would leave that program. They have to find somebody again, and it's not as easy as they made it look. But to Oregon's credit, the Pac-12, like overall, that entire conference, people like on the West Coast don't give that conference enough love because a bunch of the games yesterday ended at 1:30 in the morning. No one's staying up on the East Coast and watching.
Oh, the East Coast bias. You're calling for it.
Yeah, but Oregon looked flat out better across the board. Where's our guy Trout, by the way? Here's the Ohio State fan. We haven't seen him yet today.
Not today.
No, not today.
That's I reached out to him on Facebook and told him at least he ducked losing in the playoffs this year. And then he said something back to me, and I said, "Wow, you're in a really foul mood." I just kept the duck puns coming. That's what it was all about. The duck puns for Trout. Look, he's a Cleveland fan too, so he's got an interesting day ahead of him. Ooh. But it's one of the things about that Ohio State team is even in a loss, CJ Stroud threw 484 yards. 484 yards. That's insane. The difference is Oregon just spread it around. They had 11 different guys catch a football. They had, Verdell run for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. They spread the ball around. They had a better team effort, but there was some like superstar efforts. As a Heisman voter, you see what CJ Stroud did yesterday. Is it negated by the fact that it was in a loss, or do you still look at the fact that he threw for 484, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception and go, all right, vote stocks up?
I would say the problem with CJ Stroud is that the Ohio State quarterbacks have been so good recently. It's hard for him to follow what they've done. Justin Fields was really good. You go back to guys like J.T. Barrett, who's look, he's not an NFL quarterback stud, or Braxton Miller, but those guys ran that offense so well and continue to put those guys in spots. Cardell Jones, the third stringer, won a national championship. Like that's how good the quarterbacks have been at Ohio State, where the third stringer can step into it. The problem with C.J. Stroud is that he doesn't have the name recognition yet. He's not in that same era, the same class of these guys yet. Yeah, the numbers are really good, but yeah, the loss or the win plays a huge factor in how we should evaluate these quarterbacks. So the Ohio State fans would come back and say, okay, if Stroud led the comeback and they came back, we can talk about him as being one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But when your team's losing the entire game, it's smart not to run the football. We got to let this kid air it out a little bit.
How high does Oregon go? How far does Ohio State fall? 3-12, Ohio State 3, Oregon 12. How's it work?
I will post my entire top 25 poll on GodzillaMedia.com tomorrow, but I will give you a preview of it now.
I was gonna say, you better answer me, you prick.
1 is Alabama, so Crimson Tide at 1. Georgia would be at 2.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure I get this right. I believe I would have Oregon at 3 and Iowa at 4. That's how I would have my top 25.
Ohio State would fall out of the top 5?
I think Ohio State would be out of the top 5, yes. I believe I had Notre Dame at 5, so Notre Dame would be the 5th team. That's what my top 5 would look like. So it would be, again, Alabama, Georgia, Iowa, Oregon, Notre Dame is how the top 5 should be.
Does Michigan get in to the top 25 now that you're 2-0, 31-10, decided victory over Washington? Just happened to be the same day that Ohio State gets flushed by the Ducks. Huh?
Michigan looked awesome.
Go blue.
Michigan. Oh, I was texting you during this game. I said, they finally got players who can throw, tackle, catch. No, like I get a Harbaugh.
Guys who play football.
Whoa,
well, and they're playing Harbaugh style football now.
Yes. This was a situation last night where the crowd was into the game and everybody was picking against Michigan. Everybody wanted to take Washington, how they're getting too many points, how they're a great team in the preseason. Who cares they lost to an FCS team? They're going to go from the Pac-12 across the country to play on a night game in Ann Arbor, and they're going to hang tight with Michigan. Never the case. 97, Hutchinson, the defensive lineman, was just eating up Washington. He could not be stopped out there. Every single play, he looked like one of the Watt brothers. And, I don't usually compare players to the Watts, but that's how good he was.
Not players you like.
No, that's how good he was last night. He would just beat these guys constantly off the ball. Now, someone sent me a message. They think that Hutchinson 97, you may know him more as that kid that a Harbaugh went up in the tree.
I think he's the one that he watched Netflix with and hung out with when he was recruiting him. I'm almost positive. I'm not 100% sure of it, but I think he's the guy. Which if that's the case, my man needs to start watching more Netflix with people. But yeah, he's a beast of a human. He's a beast, and he's like, we were just talking about Undercuffler and how he's he's filling that long frame is filling out with muscle now. Same with Hutchinson, just more, just more of it.
Michigan's best defensive player of the last 10 years is probably Jabril Peppers, just because he did so much and he was considered one of the best athletes. Hutchinson is heading towards that, and Michigan as a team, this is something I haven't said, and maybe you haven't heard for the last 10 years, that they're fun to watch again.
Yeah.
They got so many athletes on the outside. They got a number 2 that I'm like, okay, I know you're not Charles Woodson, but you're good. You're good out here. 97. Yeah, those guys are fun and enjoyable. And Harbaugh, look, I think some people enjoy Harbaugh melting down on the sidelines just as much as Michigan playing well, but now you're just going to get one.
What about Harbaugh looking as shocked as anyone that they won? Harbaugh had to look on his because here's the thing. If I've me, if you listen in to any version of the show, and David just said, good to see the bearded bastards back together again, which I'm okay with that being a nickname for the show. This Michigan team, I had no idea what to expect. You lose Bell, you lose your best player, your best offensive player. Cade McNamara throws the ball 15 times, completes 7 passes for 44 yards, and you win 31-10. That's not that's not normal. But Corum, Haskins, both run for over 150 yards each. Both have a touchdown. Corum ends up with 171 with 3 touchdowns. But you just decided, look, we're just going to push them around the field. This is a Wisconsin box score. This isn't a Michigan box score. This is a Wisconsin. But if can they keep doing something like this? Like, at what point does McNamara have to start throwing the ball? Because, Northern Illinois, you probably still run on them. Rutgers that's gonna be an ugly just fight of people are gonna be carried off in stretchers if you're playing this kind of football.
Rutgers and Syracuse was ugly.
Yeah.
17-7. Levack did call that as a bet, but Dino Babers a huge penalty against himself. But yeah, Rutgers, Greg shot on the defense. You're right. McNamara's gonna be tested. Yeah.
And then you got Wisconsin. So like those two games, you better be able to throw a little bit. You better be able to throw just to separate yourself from them.
On that schedule, if you've got it up, when is the next time you think Michigan would be an underdog in a game this season?
Probably Wisconsin.
Do they play Penn State at Penn State? Maybe for the whiteout game would be a tough match.
But not till November 13th.
Okay, yeah, you might get just.
Who knows by then, though?
Exactly. You could be maybe undefeated or Penn State.
Northwestern's no joke, man. I'm sorry. Like, I know they're not going to. Nobody's going to see them as a power, but if you go in there thinking you're going to walk on them, you're in trouble.
The fighting Reese Davises, the fighting Kevin Sweeney's.
And then Ohio State to end the season at Ann Arbor.
A rivalry. Can Harbaugh finally get it done?
All right, here's the question for you, right? If you lose that game, are you out?
No.
Either side?
No, it's not that
I'm just saying, Ryan Day.
No.
Ryan Day did lose to Oregon. He did, and then if he loses to Michigan, if he's the first guy to lose to Michigan in how many years? I don't know. I think Trout here at the Hideaway will be calling for his ass. Want him fired.
What a compliment for Ryan Day. He had not lost the actual game as a head coach. First time he loses.
Some Jets fans out here.
Yeah, Jets fans. There they are. I would say no, though. I think Day's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wanted to start the rumor just to upset people.
I wanted to see Brian Kelly lose his mind because you got to talk about people, coaches melting down and faces getting red. Notre Dame should have lost to Toledo.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's losing that game with under 2 minutes to go, and they got 3 pass interference calls in a row. And eventually they just dropped it off to the tight end and they won the game like that.
NBC hit the easy button. They're like, no, we need better.
Enough of this.
We don't have a deal with Toledo. The last time Toledo beat Notre Dame is when I used to play franchise modes and dynasty modes.
Double-A football?
Yeah, because you couldn't use Michigan because if you were any good at playing and you used Michigan, you were going to stop people. So Toledo, at least the uniforms look similar enough. I would build a dynasty out of Toledo, and I'd win 2 or 3 national championships in a row, have a couple Heismans, and start over. Yeah, start over.
But they were good. Toledo played really well, but Notre Dame wins that game. Iowa State was supposed to be this massive rivalry. Both these teams in the top 10 in the country. Again, another play that everybody took Iowa State.
Luckily, we didn't bet it.
Thank goodness, because they got destroyed. Iowa was way better. It's just the problem. I think we're learning
the Ashton
here.
Kutcher effect.
Yeah, and it's probably gonna go to the NFL.
He was there
too.
for game day.
Yeah. The NFL might have the same thing when we talk about week 1 action later here in a little bit, that the reaction, like everyone's like, don't overreact. But also if a team sucks, they suck. Like we also found that out. Like, wow, Iowa State was not good against Northern Iowa. They'll figure it out. No, maybe they're just not good. Washington lost to Montana. They'll figure it out against Michigan. No, maybe they're not good. Like now we've went from overreaction to just flat out not being good.
Well, and that is, I mean, there is, and that's going to be one of the themes for me later today when we start talking NFL stuff. What's up, man? How you? Congratulations! Congrats! Yeah, you go. My man just got engaged.
Hey, congrats!
Congrats, man.
Hey.
Oh, that hurt. She's here. Oh no, I gotta go. She's good for you, not for the rest of us. No, that's awesome. Very cool. Congratulations. That's cool. No, you don't overthink, because like I think there's a lot of these NFL games today where I catch myself kind of, all right, I see what I see, like I see what I think, and then I hear somebody else start talking about it, and I'm like, oh my god, wait a minute, everybody's on what I'm on. This is mean. You got to fade Joe Public. You can't do this. You can't go with this. And then I hear somebody else like start talking about how it's silly to everybody. I'm like, hold up. All right, at what point do you just go with what you see? And even though we both said yesterday, and you can get that on somewhere, I don't know, Godzilla.
Apple, Spotify, YouTube. That's right.
Like, subscribe, do a hula. There's something to it when we both go. There's Iowa State's the team that's supposed to win this game, yet I don't want to touch it. There's something like, don't let people talk you into it.
I feel like this also needs to be reminded, especially for younger sports fans who are definitely into podcasts and things like this. I remember this, and I know you do. There was a span from like and maybe this goes further back in the 90s and like the early 2000s, where on a lot of radio, television, and newspapers, these sports bet prop guys were always coming out. What were they called?
Touts.
Touts. Thank you. Tout. Where, for those who don't know what we're talking about, like, you got to buy the picks this week.
Yeah.
They're going to nail it.
Right.
He's on fire. He's 11-1. So, like, these touts would buy all this airtime so people would buy these picks. But what's happened now in 2021 is you have all these people wanting to be touts. Like, we've actually, like, gone in reverse. So just buyer beware that you see everybody's called themselves a gambling expert and advisor. Right. Every media and all this other people want to just, like, here's our tout. Here's our tout. Okay, like, you're going to get a lot of bad advice betting on games is basically what I'm trying to get at here. Right. You're going to get some good advice, but like you said, it comes down to what you actually see on the field.
And if you're not careful, you talk yourself into circles, and next thing you know, you're picking something you never wanted to pick in the first place.
Yep.
You know, like Goz taking Syracuse yesterday.
Oh, God. It was so bad. I was surrounded by Syracuse fans watching the game, and some people were like, just turn it off. 0-0 midway through the third quarter.
It was so I was watching. So I watched a lot of it at home, and then I had to get over to UAlbany, you know, to be on the field for the Great Danes. So I watched the last, 9 minutes in my truck parked in the media lot over at UAlbany on my phone. And that was the most exciting part of the game, if we're being honest, even though it was sloppy as all hell for your Cuse as it got going. But I can't help but feel like DeVito was trying to impress his home state. Like, I feel like DeVito tried to play like you got to know who you are. You can't play hero ball. He looked like he was playing hero ball out there.
He did. He's trying to make these plays that he's like, oh, like, here's my final chance for the NFL. Let me make this unbelievable throw. Like, just move the ball up the field. You know, get a first down.
Right. Don't lose yards.
Right. Your team's struggling to put any points on the board right now. If you got to eat up the clock, fine. If it's going to be a 14-7 final, great. You're right. He did way too much. The Rutgers' defense, we both knew that they were going to be strong. Shiano showed it. Syracuse's special teams have actually been great the last 5 years. We're talking like all-American punters and NFL guys. And Luke Groh's a kicker. Kicker misses a 30-yarder. The punter punts it like 10 yards. It's the worst special teams game they've had in like a decade. And that ended up costing them too. But from as good as they looked against Ohio to as bad as they looked against Rutgers, if you are a UAlbany football fan, I think that performance by Syracuse gets you excited for next weekend because
bad.
You don't think UAlbany's offense can figure something out? Like, if
I think they can, but like,
I would think their advantage to beat Syracuse, they'd be more likely to win a 21-14 game than like a 42-35.
Oh yeah, game. No, you're not. No, you're gonna need to take it into the fourth quarter and steal a game. You know, it's just where you're at right now. And look, if UAlbany went out and waxed Rhode Island last night and looked like they had everything, all the rust knocked off, all the stuff ready to go. The defense played okay, but they didn't play as good as they played the week before against North Dakota State. I know the stats don't show that. I know if you're a moron, you only read box scores, you don't think that's true.
Are you talking? Never.
No. But if they had that defensive effort and the offense is firing all 8 cylinders, and you don't believe Syracuse is going to come out a little extra motivated to win a game that should be a winnable game for them, I think Syracuse is going to play. I think Syracuse can play some pretty inspired football this week. I mean, obviously we can't bet on New York schools anyway, but if I was going to bet that game, I would have to at least look at what the spread is with Syracuse.
What's it going to take for me to take the road trip and have you in the vehicle with me? Are you going to do my first tailgate, or are you busy this weekend? That's what I want to know. I'm not trying to keep convincing until Saturday.
I'm very busy every weekend.
Although, then again, we're going to be out Friday to the Mets game, and by the time we get back in a 2-hour ride, you might be like, not this weekend, guys.
Yeah, at this moment, I have nothing on Saturday, but I think I'm going to keep it that way because it's funny you mentioned that. Real quick, I do want to let you know the reason that we're going to the Mets game is one of my favorite Mets fans is Dr. Fred Dreer from the Integrative Sleep Center in Boston Spa, 518-885-6185. 518-885-6185. Doc Dreer gave us a call and said, look, I know we're starting to do some stuff with you guys. We've always loved being a part of the show. Come to a Mets game with us. And Goz and I went, yeah, we're there. So we're going to be doing that. But it was cool when I went in. I talked to Doc. I talked to Lorianne. I talked to everybody there. I had no idea that a bunch of CPAP devices had been recalled. Like I think there's like mold issues or something. I don't know all that. I don't understand how it works, right? I don't that stuff because I've never had a CPAP device. I have a mouthpiece. It's a custom fit mouthpiece for me made over there. Like they fixed it, they put it together, they make sure it's custom fit in the right way for you over at the Integrative Sleep Center, and then it keeps your airway open. You sleep better. That's how I've been sleeping. So that if you're somebody who's kind of over the whole CPAP thing, and trust me, I would have been from day one. You got to call 518-885-6185. You got to call them because it's going to be a life-changing experience. 518-885-6185. Dr. Fred Drury in the Integrative Sleep Center in Boston Spa. Help me sleep better. They're going to help you sleep better too.
Make the drive to Boston Spa. Call that number wherever you're listening here in upstate New York. I'm telling you, so many times we've gone to events, we've been able to talk to people, and they will come up to Levack, and it's not about the Yankees. It's not about the Raiders. Right. At least at first. They first ask them about the Integrative Sleep Center and how it happened and what worked in the mouthpiece. So they have shown off for years how good they can be at this stuff, and hopefully you'll be taking advantage of it very soon. And
call them because it doesn't matter who it is. I always get that, well, the mask doesn't. I don't have a mask. People don't realize that until they call 518-885-6185. Even Mike Corda, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, Mike.
Birthday,
from Techie's Fire and Water Restoration. Yeah, congrats. He's like, well, what's a mask? He doesn't bother. I'm like, I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna stab you. No, it's life changing right there. Just like watching Rutgers win by 10 over Syracuse when I called it.
God,
nailed it. I'm sorry, I felt bad for you, but I felt good for me because I needed a win. I needed one. I needed a win. What else? Mr. Heisman voter did you take away from your Saturday of football, college football?
Betting on sports is awesome. I'd say that. I would say USC getting pounded by Stanford by 4 touchdowns. I would say San Diego State was my lock of the week, and I'm upset with myself because the certain area of upstate New York that I was in betting at couldn't move the line. I wanted to hammer the Aztecs, but they won, and we got a lot of good defensive players, offensive linemen in Arkansas. Is Texas back, Levack? I tweeted you, at midnight? Is Texas back? No, they're not. They still stink.
Florida State loses to Jacksonville State.
What a game. I don't know if you got a chance to catch the end of that, but basically Florida State's going to win the game.
Right.
And they just go one-on-one coverage. They didn't go prevent. They didn't go like man 3 deep. They're just like, we're Florida State. They're not going to beat us one-on-one. So they just double-teamed a wide receiver, ran right by him, and then they both could tackle the kid. Nope. Into the end zone. They beat Florida State.
It is. Jacksonville State won. Toledo should have beaten Notre Dame. I mean, the Oregon pulls the upset against Ohio State. It was like a bloodshed Saturday, like week 2 of the season. It was pretty amazing for college football. We're live here at the Hideaway. Of course, we love the Hideaway. Saratoga Lake Golf Club. It is popping off today. Everybody's getting one of the last probably just pure great weekends of golfing. There's the Ancient Order of Hibernians are golfing. So dudes in kilts swinging golf clubs. You think about it, just like, what was it, a week ago? I was at the Scottish Games, so I've spent a lot of time with guys who don't have zippers. I don't know, make of that what you will.
You've been driving to the Scottish Games here, New Albany. I was just in Verona here, heading to Johnstone Supply on Monday, but I'm getting all those places because of the great people at Mohawk Honda.
Oh, look at you.
We love our friends over at Mohawk Honda. I'm driving my Pilot around, best vehicle I've ever owned. So many people now in the fall. You're still looking for your new ride. Maybe you're taking the trip to the big football game, the tailgate, and more. Get a vehicle you actually can trust. I was just in the car and never thought once about, man, it's not making weird noises like my other vehicle. No, I don't have to.
Why does your car sound like your drum roll?
Don't have a vehicle that sounds like that. Go to Mohawk Honda. Talk to our friends, Greg Johnson, Cam McKenna, the entire staff there. Follow them on social media and more. Mohawk Honda, where they always go out of their way to please you. And by the way, is my car still over there? I don't know if that was a parking spot I put it in.
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
It's gone. Car's gone to a better place. Somebody knows how to drive. Has your car now. Levack and Goz live from the Hideaway. Coming up today, we're gonna do the show till about kickoff, and then we're gonna be giving away Dave Matthews Band tickets inside the Hideaway for the halftime of the 1 o'clock games. So we're very excited about that, and I'm gonna.
Oh, that's the cough
button.
Yeah,
I got a little cough button, but it deflects. There's no purpose in it. Defeats the purpose when I tell you I'm doing it.
Oh.
But I did it anyway. So NFL's back. NFL is elite. It is back. Question becomes, are the Jets back?
Is Texas back? Are the Jets back? I could do this all year. I love it. Okay, so that question you're asking, okay, what is a successful season if you're a Jet fan, right? You're one of the worst teams in the NFL last season. If the Jets go 6-10 this year, are you thrilled? I mean, no.
No, because you'd be missing a game.
Thank you. Wow, that's right. That's going to catch me a few times here. Okay, let's say you go 7-10.
There you go.
You still
I
want
think you're thrilled if you go 7-10. 7-10. Zach Wilson looks good. I think you're thrilled. I think you're over the freaking moon.
Right, like you still want to be a playoff team because of expanded playoffs and everything else. But knowing how bad the team was last year, and like you just said, you see that quick of an improvement out of a rookie quarterback, you're in a good spot. The AFC East overall is a division. Buffalo is going to be a team that's a Super Bowl darling for a lot of people, including me. I think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl this year. The Dolphins are a team that's made a lot of additions. The Patriots, I don't think they're going to be anywhere close to as many people think they're going to be a division champion again. I just don't see that with a rookie quarterback. But the Jets, yeah, I think 7-10 and a great start today against Carolina can already get Jets fans excited, especially with that matchup of Wilson versus Darnold, the future versus the past already.
Which is so funny because, Darnold's he's a baby. He's just a baby. So here's how I look at today's game, right? The Jets are trying to be where Carolina is. Like, Carolina's done what the Jets are doing. They hit the reset button. They brought in the hot coach. They put the new staff in. They flushed the old quarterbacks. They've done all these things already. They have better players, and especially when you look at the injuries for the Jets. I mean, I think Carl Lawson was supposed to be that Bosa rusher that, Robert Saleh had in San Francisco. He gets hurt. You bring in other guys, whatever. It doesn't matter. I have a sneaking suspicion this could be a long day for the Jets, maybe a high-scoring game.
Ooh, wow, a long day for this, because I tell you this all the time, especially about first games and first halves. If Saleh looks bad in that first half, after Adam Gase and all, it feels like Adam Gase been talking about getting fired for a year and a half. No, you know
the
what?
Day he got hired, the taco meme.
You beat me to it. The press conference, people would question Gase. I think that's the last thing Jet fan wants. About 2 years of the Gase nonsense, and then a first half where they stink out of the gates. That's the exact opposite of what they want. There he is. I was concerned about. There he is.
What's up, Trout? You want a microphone? It's just we already talked about Ohio State. We already talked about him.
Levack was making duck jokes, he said on Facebook to you.
And my jokes aren't all they're quacked up to be, though. I mean, you gotta remember. Notice
he left out the part about Michigan ducking us last year.
There you go. There he is. The biggest Ohio State fan there is. How you doing? Trout? You feeling foul today?
Yeah.
You feeling foul?
Hey, you want me to make the bold prediction of the day?
Ooh.
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
The Cleveland Browns will beat the Kansas City Chiefs today in Kansas City. You heard it here first. I know you want to hear. I know you would like that.
Wow, Browns over Chiefs. Mahomes a beast in September.
Back me up here, fellas.
I want to.
There's 1 week to get them. It's week 1. With that new offensive line, it's going to take them some weeks to gel.
Just if you want to look at my picks real quick, Cleveland +6, and then Cleveland in my teaser.
Look at that. You guys both. I was ready to see a battle between you two.
No,
for
Cleveland.
Mahomes
I got no problem with Cleveland. I got no problem with Cleveland.
I'll take Mahomes, Trout. Although I love you and I love the back, I will take the guy named Patrick Mahomes.
Levack and I agreeing on something.
I know.
Strange,
let's get some Bloody Marys going. We're the end's near. The end is nigh. Yeah. No. I just Ohio State. Is it time to fire Ryan Day? I think it's time to move on.
Yes. Really.
Yes, I wouldn't hate it.
Maybe he'll go coach Michigan. Maybe they'll win a game.
Oh, we won 2. Michigan's 2-0, baby. 2-0, baby. All right. You go.
All right, there's a bold pick right there. Browns.
You and I will be talking smack later. Yeah, well, I mean, I'll do Bloody Marys if you want to. Seriously, I love the Bloody Marys here at the Hideaway. If you haven't done that yet, you're making mistakes. Yeah, I think Cleveland's got a real chance of playing this thing like it's their Super Bowl today. But that's for a little bit later in the show. I think Carolina's going to go out. Look, who's the best player on the field? It's Run CMC. It's Christian McCaffrey. He's the best player on the field, and I don't think it's close. I think you're Matt Rule, Joe Brady. You're going to feature him. Robbie Anderson's going to get loose for 100+ yards and a touchdown. Like I think you're going to see Carolina focus on their guys. And I've heard people say like the team doesn't care that Sam Darnold got hosed by the Jets. You've been in locker rooms. If I'm a coach and I'm trying to bring in my leader quarterback, I need everyone to care that this happened. I want them to look at that other team like they did something horribly wrong, like it's a Chuck Norris movie from the friggin' 80s, and they violated the guy's family, and now we're gonna get revenge as the Delta Force. Like, I need them to think that, and I think Rule's a good enough coach. Remember, Robbie Anderson, former Jet. Sam Darnold, former Jet. Matt Rule was supposed to be the Jets head coach. They took Adam Gase because Adam Gase was willing to let them hire his staff for him. So if I'm Rule, I also feel slighted by the Jets.
And now you could prove it against them in week 1. You've had all the time to prep, to the Darnold thing especially, where everyone hyped him up, sucked for Sam and everything else. Darnold can make a lot of excuses. Hey, I had a bunch of different coaches. I got mono. I got injured. My skill players sucked. Look what I can actually do with real players. You already mentioned all the rule stuff there. So, yeah, this is not a cliche chip on your shoulder game. This is real motivation. Like, both those guys were told they weren't good enough for something, and now they get to prove that they are.
Levack and Goz live at the Hideaway. Come watch all the games here each and every Sunday. Actually, if there's NFL on the TV, you're going to find it here at the Hideaway. Best Bloody Marys around, and I'm going to prove that momentarily. Very excited. Finally, somebody asked if I wanted one. So we're going to get one. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think you're about to say what I was about to say.
The New York Football Giants?
You beat me to it.
The New York Football Giants. Listen, I think the Giants have a chance to look like one of the more improved teams in football this year. I really, because I love the coaching. I love the way they're building. It's not the fastest. It's not the sexiest. The offensive line makes me a little nervous, especially with that mad scramble to bring everybody in. But the offensive line last year was nothing to rave about, and they were rotating through 6 dudes. And for some reason, it worked. So it's going to come down to Danny Dimes. But I think the Giants, because of the leadership, because of the coaching, and hopefully some growth out of that quarterback position, they could do something. I look at the Broncos coming to town. You got a West Coast team coming east. I got Teddy Two Gloves, who doesn't blow my skirt up the way he blows everybody else's up, apparently. I mean, the number shifted. I think originally it opened with the Giants either a 1-point dog or even a favorite, and now they're a 3-point dog after Teddy Bridgewater was announced your quarterback.
Bridgewater has been very average his entire career. Like, that's just what he is. Like, kind of battling for spots, everything else. For the Giants,
he shouldn't be walking.
No,
and he's still playing quarterback. He's good. He's good, but he's not gonna get you to the next level.
Average is good enough, like you said. Like, for him, the fact that you're even playing in a football game and starting is no doubt an accomplishment in its own right after that injury. To the Giants, I'm kind of gonna like half of your sections are correct, and look at those. Thank you, Trout. Wow.
If you're not doing this, you're doing it wrong, my friends. If you're not doing this, you're doing it wrong.
So
Thank you, sir.
Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge.
After all the Ducks jokes, and he still this. Wait a minute, can we spit? Can we just switch? Because you definitely spit it.
You can start comparing this Giants roster to the roster we've seen this team have. It's more of a team that actually is like poised to contend. Like, they've got the balance now at the wide receiver. They brought in Kenny Galladay, who's going to make some plays. Saquon Barkley seems to be healthy from all these early reports of what's going on.
I hope so. I got him in fantasy league.
The offensive line might finally be pieced together the way they want it for so many years of Eli running for his life. The defensive line, look, it's not the Super Bowl defensive line they've had in the past, but they've got some guys who, especially in the NFC East, can just hold steady. Like, they're not going to blow you any games. So it all comes down to Daniel Jones. And Giant fans probably at nausea, they don't want to hear this over and over and over again, but the storyline hasn't gone away that New York could have drafted Josh Allen. New York could have drafted Lamar Jackson.
Sam Darnold.
All these guys New York could have had. They decided to say, Saquon's our guy. We'll wait a year, and we'll find out this season if waiting for that quarterback or putting all your chips in on Daniel Jones was the right decision. And Giant fan, I feel bad for you saying this, but to me, Daniel Jones will be this year's Carson Wentz, where he's going to get exposed, where his team's got a lot of talent around him. His coaching staff's pretty good. Peterson's more proven than Judge, no doubt, Super Bowl championship. But it feels like teams are just going to go at Daniel Jones and say, beat us. We know everybody else on this team is pretty solid. If Daniel Jones can beat us, good. He proved it. But we're going to force him every game to be the difference in the fourth quarter and the second half.
And to the credit of Joe Judge, Dave Gettleman, your quarterback room is Daniel Jones and Mike Glennon. I think the kid from Michigan State might be around somewhere, Lewerke or whatever the hell his name is. But they didn't go do that thing where you go find somebody to push him, right? They didn't go get Teddy Bridgewater. They didn't go get whoever. They said, no, it's ride or die time. and we're in this together. You know, Gettleman, Joe Judge survives, in my opinion. Gettleman will not. If Daniel Jones falls on his face, literally or figuratively, Gettleman's going with him. So for Gettleman to leave it the way it is, that's saying something too, in my opinion.
That's the ride or die. We're doing this together, Daniel Jones. We're going down together with this shit.
It's all in together. And again, the coaching is there. Defense, I think the defense is quietly one of the stacked defenses. Secondary, you saw come alive last year. You still got Dexter Lawrence. You still got Leonard Williams. I'm excited to see what they do. Blake Martinez is a tackling machine. That's what he does. He's a tackling machine. So I'm very intrigued to see the Giants. Very intrigued.
Before we get to the Buffalo Bills, I feel like we got to give a shout out to our friends over at Johnstone Supply in Troy. Johnstone Supply in Troy. Levack, it is officially the fall, by the way.
It is.
Furnaces, heating systems in your home. Do you know what to do? Do you know who to call? Johnstone Supply in Troy can help you today with those moves in your home. Make sure it's prepared. Family-owned and operated business. Looking forward to catching up with that guy, George. Tomorrow, we're going to be taping that interview. It's going to come out in October, where you can learn more about his background in the boxing game and more about all the great things happening this fall at Johnstone Supply in Troy, located on 6th Avenue. Give him a call today. If you're looking, again, for those changes for the fall on the way, make sure your heating system's ready to go and your filters are changed. 518-272-5922. 518-272-5922. Johnstone Supply in Troy. Check them out on Facebook today. Follow the great things they're doing and take care of your home. Buffalo Bills. Super Bowl? Super Bowl question mark?
No, I didn't pick them for the Super Bowl. You know that.
Is that okay, let me rephrase that then. If you are a Bill fan, what is your expectation, reasonable expectation for how far this team can go? Like, what would you find this team to be a disappointment if they finished here?
No offense, Buffalo Bills fans, but I don't usually lump you in with the word reasonable. You know? I mean, if we're just being honest, right? That's not, you don't usually go, oh, the Bills fans. Very reasonably flying through flaming tables.
When Chad was talking about, hey, you guys should put some stuff on the team, I'm like, the last time we were out here for an NFL broadcast, we were surrounded by the Bills Mafia, and I thought, let's just keep this table in peace. You know, nothing's spilled on it. Nothing's been ripped apart. I like where this is looking right now.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think you're going to learn a lot about the team right away. I do feel as though they are a true power in the AFC. I think if they were in the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be like, oh, my God, how'd this happen? But you start with Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's gonna be better. I'm not gonna pull a Texas and tell you the Steelers are back, but it's a 6-point game today, something like that.
Yeah, 6.5. That's been dancing between.
That's a tough number. Like, that's a tough number for that game, because Ben could go out and hit a couple guys and put some points on the board. Is Najee Harris a running back of any kind of real consequence? Then you're at Miami. I think Miami's a player. Quarterback situation, they're not going to win the East, but they, who knows? Then the Washington football team will punch you in the mouth. Then you get the Texans. That's nice at home. Then you're at the Chiefs. You're at the Titans. Got Dolphins again. You don't even see the Pats until later in the season. I mean, it's insane. It's a weird. Like, I want to see them play the Pats, because the Pats getting everybody back and everything they're doing. You host the Patriots on December 6th, and then you play them 4 weeks later. And you play like right on Chris, like you're the Christmas game, basically. I mean, it's going to be if the Bills get to the Super Bowl this year, they earned it, because the schedule is not easy.
My buddy asked me yesterday, he goes, what's your second favorite NFL team? And I thought, that's a weird question. Like, you usually just have one, but now I feel like as I'm getting older, and I think everyone goes through this now as a sports fan, like even this broadcast, calling some of the college players kids because they're 10 years younger than me or 15 years younger than me. And when you start to get to an age, like, you start rooting for guys and players and coaches, like, especially doing this job where you get to interview somebody and you're like, okay, I want that person to do well. I'm a Josh Allen fan. Like, I really want him to play well. He's likable. He goes out and does stuff in that Buffalo community. I still love telling the story about when we went to camp and his whole family came from the West Coast. He said, hang on, and signed every autograph for every kid. His poor grandma's in a wheelchair. He's like, hang on, I got to take care of these crazy
She had
fans.
one of those push walkers that you could put a seat down, and she went and sat. She was like, he's not going anywhere.
There were no cameras. Like, he wasn't doing it to, like, play it up for the gander, as Gator says on one of my favorite TV shows. It wasn't about the gander. But Josh Allen and this Bills team, they're the hunted now. Like, they're not these lovable underdogs and prove everybody wrong. They are, in the Chiefs, the top two teams in the AFC. And it feels like there's a significant margin after those two. Like it's Chiefs, Bills, maybe Trouts, Browns are third. But those teams like are significantly better than everybody else in the AFC this season.
Is it?
And I would say if I was a Bills fan, I think your expectations are you got to beat Kansas City. Your goal, we see all this in the NBA a few years ago with the Warriors and the Rockets. Your goal, if you're a Houston Rocket fan, was to beat Golden State. Your goal for a Bill fan this season is to beat Kansas City and get to LA for the Super Bowl.
You don't think Baltimore can do it?
I mean, who's going to run the ball? Tay Murray, Le'Veon Bell. I feel like
hopefully Tyson Williams.
And then people question Lamar Jackson. People question if Lamar Jackson be accurate enough. Like if someone said you got to force Lamar Jackson to throw for 300 yards, I think that's a matchup they'd like. Tennessee's always going to be good, like Vrabel and adding Julio Jones, but the Bills Mafia, here's what I would tell you, and you mentioned this earlier about being reasonable. If Buffalo goes like 2-2 and Allen's not playing great, just, keep the flames a little lower on the tables. Don't jump through them after every loss. Like, it's a 17-game regular season. You're not going 17-0, Buffalo. So just, relax a little bit, even though there's more pressure on you guys this year in comparison to seasons past. You're going to have some bad games, and Allen's not going to be better than Mahomes this season.
All right, you want to run through it? You want to do the whole schedule? Because we're going to be here at the Hideaway. We are not going anywhere. We're going to hang out, watch the first half of the games with you, and then give away Dave Matthews Band tickets. So let's do this. We're going to go through, pick it with the spread, like we normally did on our football show live from the Highway. What's up, man? Saratoga Lake Golf Club, beautiful as always, and it's getting a workout today. A lot of people out golfing. All right, you ready?
Yes.
How do you want to do? I've got two different orders in front of me.
I will follow your order, but just real quick before we get into this, I just came across, if you're a Bill fan, we were just talking about Zach Moss, a healthy scratch today.
Ooh.
So if you had him in your fantasy leagues, I know the Bills running backs were strange. That's coming across right now. So again, I'll try to get another update, but it looks like Zach Moss is the only big fantasy strange move this morning.
All right, let's do it. Let's go. Here we go. We're going to get rolling. We've got the Philadelphia Eagles are at the Atlanta Falcons. This is a battle of the birds. These are two teams that are in maybe not the greatest of ways right now. And if you like the Philadelphia Eagles, you're getting 4. Actually, it's down to 3 now. It's been bet down to 3. So 3. You get 3 with the Eagles, or you take the Falcons. What are you doing there, guys?
This feels like a push. This is going to be a fun game, like a late kick. I don't know if the Eagles coaching staff is better than it was last season. People hated on Doug Peterson, but Doug Peterson won that team a Super Bowl, and they canned him because he wanted to bomb for a draft pick, and they ended up trading up anyways and got Devonta Smith. So I will take the Eagles in this game. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be the story, though. A single-digit tight end is going to tear it up week 1. Pitts is a monster for the Falcons, but it's Philly with the points, and it'll probably be a push anyways.
I do like Philly in this one. I think this is one of those situations where Sirianni was such a joke with his systems comments that we've lost track of the fact that he might actually be a decent coach. He might actually know what he's doing. So Arthur Smith, 2 new coaches, 2 new situations. Don't love either quarterback anymore. I'll take the points. I'll take the Eagles with you as well. Minnesota Vikings at the Cincinnati Bengals. Vikings laying 3 points. I would love to take the Bengals here. Minnesota's defense is too strong. Minnesota's better coach team, better team, farther ahead of where they want to be. I hate their quarterback. I think he's a joke, but I'll lay the 3 with the Vikings.
To Cincinnati's credit, last season, remember week 1 of 2020, Cincinnati was a huge underdog to Seattle, and they hung in that entire game. That was almost a big shock of what happened last year on week 1. That offensive line is still unproven. Joe Burrow was running for his life, and everybody else they trotted behind center was just running around. Totally right. Mike Zimmer, better defense. That's the difference. Minnesota, I'm with you. We're 2 for 2 so far together.
I don't know. That's
weird.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not. We'll find out together. That's how that's going to go down. You've got the San Francisco 49ers are going to the Detroit Lions. The Niners have been bet up to a 9-point favorite.
So if we had done this show on Thursday, I would have told you this was my favorite play of the weekend. I thought San Francisco, you give me Kyle Shanahan. The Detroit Lions last season allowed the most fantasy football points to quarterbacks, so I thought Garoppolo had something to prove with the contract and the stats and everything else. But like I just mentioned for that Bengals-Seahawks game, there's always a game week 1 that surprises everybody. Like there's a team that you thought the Jags won in week 1 last season. There's always like a whoa, I didn't see that coming. I would have liked that game a lot more at 7.5. Now it's at 9. I'm still taking the Niners with the points, but I do not feel as confident as I did before just because we see weird things happen in week 1, and it seems like everyone wants to bet on the Niners. The public's going that way. I'm getting a little concerned about this game.
9-point home dog. I mean, Niners are better. They should win by 50, but 9-point home dog. I gotta take Detroit. I can't leave that kind of, home points on the table. That's just it's scary. It's just a little too scary for me. It's a little too much, too many points. That's just a lot of points. But again, I wouldn't put money on it because I wouldn't be shocked if it's wrong because they are just that much better. And if we see them actually pull off that 2-quarterback system like they were doing in the preseason against the Raiders and stuff, how do you stop that? Because usually the other team stops themselves. That's how you beat them, is they just make stupid mistakes. They didn't make mistakes. Next game, you got the Arizona Cardinals, the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are laying 3.
This is one of my top 2 favorite plays of the day. This is all about Tennessee. It's fun because over the years we've done this. For whatever reason, I've become like a Tennessee supporter. You become a Tennessee hater, and there's no like rime or reason to it. I don't. Would you say you bet the Titans a lot or bet against the Titans? Okay,
I don't bet them a lot.
I felt like 4 or 5 months ago, the moves that Arizona made in the offseason were really good. You bring in Rondell Moore from Purdue. By the way, is Larry Fitzgerald playing? I know he skipped all of training camp.
No, I don't think he is.
I'm just going to show up when I feel like it.
No, they've got the new AJ Green is the new Larry Fitzgerald.
Okay, so like Larry Fitzgerald's not retired, but he's just going to come to the games he wants to play in. That's weird. Cliff Kingsbury. If Arizona had a decent head coach, we would be talking about the Cardinals top to bottom as a Super Bowl sleeper. But give me Mike Vrabel versus Cliff Kingsbury, I'm taking Vrabel all day. That's the difference. Vrabel's going to outcoach him today. Arizona's got just as much talent as Tennessee, but the coaching is the difference. Kingsbury, when is he going to be on the hot seat? Below 500 coach in college, was going to be the offensive coordinator at USC, gets all this powers at Arizona. They still stink. He might be done at the end of the season. Vrabel's the difference. Tennessee, I'd take him at 7 if I could. 6.5.
I think I like the over in this one, but I'm with you. Tennessee, Julio Jones. Like, it's funny. Both teams add like a veteran, like a JJ Watt on one side, and Julio Jones on the other. Leadership, skills, quality, all those things. I'll take Tennessee. I will. I don't want to, but I will because I hate them. Conversely, I have somehow become a Seattle Seahawks fan. They're laying 3 points at the Colts. Colts looks like they're pretty healthy. Looks like everybody's going to be out there. They're still going to lose to the Seahawks, but everybody's going to be out there. I'll lay the 3.
I'll take Seattle as well. Russell Wilson and that backfield. Chris Carson. It's far from the days of the Legion of Boom. Indianapolis, as an overall franchise, they consistently stay in the mix for a playoff spot. You look at the AFC South, I don't know if they're the best team in the AFC South. Carson Wentz has a new spot to improve himself. When you get Frank Wright and Wentz, they might be able to like just piece it together and work, but I'll take Seattle.
Chargers at Washington. The football team is laying 2 points now. It's been bet up to 2.
No, betting it to 2. This was a pick 'em for most of the week.
Yep.
And now the action's going on Washington. I'm going to take, this is my favorite play of the day, but I like the better to pick 'em. I like Washington. You're going to give me Ron Rivera, Jack Del Rio, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. You're talking about some of the smartest minds in all of the NFL. They're all on one staff. Justin Herbert had a really good rookie season, but we see this time after time that a sophomore season for quarterbacks in the NFL, especially when you get tape out and you get the film out, isn't as easy. I know fantasy football players love Austin Eckler. He's become like the big pick in every league. Everybody wants him back to stay healthy. I'm taking quarterback coaches. Give me Washington as my favorite play today. I love the football team, racial slurs, or whatever you want to call
them. they're one of my picks too. Even at -2, I get them under 3.5. I'm taking them. I agree. Better coaching, better defense. That's where it's at. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans. Jags are laying 3. I may regret this, but one of my picks today is Houston +3.
Ooh.
I just think home team, divisional rival. Everybody's down on them. Nothing's been said about them. Jacksonville's not better than they are. I mean, they're not. They both suck. So I got Hot Rod Taylor. I'm gonna roll the dice with the Houston Texans. Maybe the only time all year you can do it.
See, there's the key right there. Some people love playing in survivor pools. I'm in a survivor pool this year. Someone wondered at this game and say, wouldn't you take maybe the Jags or the Texans week 1 and just get it done with? Now, you want to obviously take the team you think is going to win every single week, but as your season continues to go on, you want to take better teams that you think are going to win. If you just get one of these teams to win week 1, you'll never have to obviously pick them because they both might go. I think the Jags will be better than the Texans, but they might, combined have 6 or 7 wins with the 17-week schedule. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, the hype's all about him. Urban Meyer, a legendary coach. We'll see if he finishes the season. But I will take Herb in Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence. I will take Jacksonville in this game.
I already told you I like Cleveland today plus the points. I'm getting 5.5, 6, depending upon where you go. What do you think? Cleveland, can they keep it close against Kansas City Chiefs?
I'm going to be rooting for the Cleveland Browns this season. I like how they play. Our guy Trout nailed it earlier. He talked about the running backs. We've got Chubb and Hunt and Stefanski. Odell Beckham Jr. is back. All that stuff sounds great. But the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs have Andy Reid. I will take the Kansas City Chiefs to beat Cleveland, to cover against Cleveland, and they will have a long stretch this year we're going to talk about. If we did the old school power rankings, it'll be Tampa Bay and Kansas City for a majority of the season sitting at 1 and 2.
Are the Pats back? Will you lay 3.5 Patriots at home hosting the Miami Dolphins?
No, I think I'm taking Miami on this one. Mac Jones is a rookie, and they're giving it all this hype. And I don't know if you got an opportunity to watch the Cam Newton weird interview that his dad did with him. And Cam Newton had the hat on, but his hair was through the hat hole, and he was referring to himself as Mr. Boogie. That whole weird Cam Newton thing, I think the weirdness rubs off on New England. I get it's Belichick.
But he's gone.
I know he's gone. I think the weirdness isn't left. The stench of Cam Newton is still there. Give me Miami. 2-0 he needs to improve. They've done a ton of stuff this offseason. Jalen Waddle, the rookie's there now too. I like Miami in this game. Remember, Flores versus Belichick. Flores might have the inside scoop. And the Dolphins always play the Patriots tough and a lot of times beat them.
Patriots brought back too many people. They're back. 3.5. I'll lay it. I don't like it. I'd rather lay 2.5, but they're back. They got all their players back. Mac Jones can be fine. Do you remember the only way I take Miami in this is if you tell me they're going to win a last second field goal by 3 points. I hate them. I really hate them, but they're back. Green Bay Packers -3.5 of the New Orleans Saints. I think Jameis Winston's going to have a good year, but I don't think it starts week 1. I'll take Green Bay. I'll lay the 3.5.
This game is in Jacksonville, too, by the way. The neutral
right.
Because of the hurricanes. When stuff like that moves around and you're moving everything around, I would take the Saints. Yes, like the Saints. This Mac yells over there. Yes, the Saints are really, really good. Was it even Mac?
No.
It looks like some guy.
No, it's Brian Baker.
Oh. Like I said, I will take the Packers. The Packers are my pick, actually. I thought I was being assaulted from across.
You are.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we got, what is it? We got, before we go back to the New York ones, we got this Sunday night game. Look at you out here having a blast. How you doing, man? One more. So we got the Sunday night game, Bears at Rams. The Rams are heavy favorites. This is one of the ones that everybody's been all over. What's that?
The Bears.
The Bears. You're taking the Bears?
The Bears at 47.
8.5 points. 8.5 points. I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to take the Bears. I'm not. I don't think the Bears are very good.
The Rams are your Super Bowl picks, so you're rolling with the Rams week 1. You like LA to do it. I'm also going to go with the Rams with you on this pick. I think Chicago is going to be a team that's in contention for a playoff spot this season, especially hit December. But what can Sean McVay actually do with Matthew Stafford at quarterback? It's going to be super exciting to see the difference that actually might happen with this team. Give me LA with you as well.
All right, let's do the New York teams. Here we go. Jets at the Panthers. Jets are getting 3.5 now. It's a lot of points, but I think the Panthers are the better team. I'll lay the 3.5.
Yeah, I feel as if Carolina with Matt Rule and Joe Brady and Christian McCaffrey and the wide receivers getting healthy. It's just talent versus talent at this point. New York is improving. They're just not quite there yet. I'm also going Carolina in this game as well.
Buffalo Bills laying 6.5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
If you told me I had to place one wager on a New York themed game today, my play would be in this game, but it would be under 48.5. because I get two really good defensive minds, maybe the best defensive minds in all the NFL, and Sean McDermott and Mike Tomlin. Ben Roethlisberger, I feel like, has a piece of spaghetti hanging off. He's not being able to throw. I've told you all offseason, I feel like this is the Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning season where all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, you need to retire. Like, this is very obvious that your career is done. Thanks for coming and doing all your records. So I don't know if Roethlisberger can throw. I feel like Pittsburgh is going to do their best to keep Allen off the field, but everyone's going to expect fireworks with Diggs and him. Under's the play, but the actual pick, 6.5. Boy, I feel like I always pick against Pittsburgh. You know what? I'm taking Pittsburgh here. I'm going to take Pittsburgh, but it's going to be a really low-scoring game because of that. That's why I like the Steelers.
I love the over.
You like the over? Okay.
I think Roethlisberger is a year more healed. I think it's the over, but I'll take the Bills too. I think they win that shootout. All right, the New York Football Giants getting 3 points from Denver. I got a West Coast team coming east. I got the better coach team in my opinion. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Giants. I'm gonna lay the 3 points.
Boy, this game is tough because Denver is a team. If you go through Denver's schedule and kind of look, Denver is going to be favored in close to double-digit games this season. They're going to be pacing to be like a 11-6, 10-7 team. But if you look at the rosters, New York is pretty even with Denver. Who's going to make the plays for me in the fourth quarter between the quarterbacks? I'm going to give the advantage to Daniel Jones. He needs a fourth quarter big game like this. And if I got to pick between Bridgewater or Daniel Jones to make the plays, Giants fans, I'm going with Daniel Jones. I will take the New York Giants.
All right, so here's my locks. I actually have 4 of them this week. I'm taking Houston, taking the points. I got them at 3.5. Taking Cleveland, taking the points, got them at 6. I'm going over 45 Jets Panthers. I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored in that game. And then I love the Washington football team. I got them at 1, but they're up to 2. And I'm gonna tease the Bills, the Browns, the football team, and the Dolphins. So
Ooh.
Bills only need to win by 1. Browns are getting 13. Football team's getting 5, and the Dolphins are getting 9.5. Those are my plays.
I like it. I'm going to stick with the Washington team as well for one of my plays. My 4 plays would be the Washington bet you had there. I would take the under in Buffalo versus Pittsburgh. Now that I got to rank my bets, I would put San Francisco back in there. Even though I like it better at 7.5, I'd put San Francisco in there. We can't count the Monday game, right? Your Raiders play on Monday night against Baltimore.
I don't want to take.
Okay.
I don't know. Like who? That
I would take your Raiders as my 4th pick in that, by the way. I would take your Raiders
Really?
points on Monday because I feel as if that black hole on Monday night, and the game is in
-4.
Vegas, correct?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Like that Vegas black hole is going to be a sight to behold. The freak show that's going to be trotted out there on national television. Because of all those things, I will take your Raiders as my 4th play.
I just don't know what they are yet. I can see a scenario where the Raiders effectively use the Drake and Josh show. And we have the backfield with that is dynamic and fun for everyone, but I can also see a scenario where they're not that good.
That's my
There
friend.
you go,
Hey, man,
Evan.
how are
What's
you?
up,
Good
man?
seeing
Evan
you,
Franz with us right now.
Hello.
You said you were coming by the Hideaway because you wanted to be on the show,
Of course.
but you're a filthy Red Sox fan. So,
And
how's everything going, man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, your Browns gonna win today?
Well, I'm a Cowboys fan.
What are you doing in a Browns jersey?
I like them.
Yeah, Myles
I
Garrett.
like the Browns. I think they got a very good chance this season.
You think they win today? Will they
It's
keep it
the
within
Chiefs?
6?
Oh, that's gonna be a very hard game.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I'm taking the Browns. That's what I'm doing.
I don't know. In my fantasy league, I've got Baker on one, and the other one I got Pat Mahomes. So you
just want to shoot out. You just want to shoot out.
yeah.
So how's everything going? What are you doing? And you said you wanted to come talk sports with me, and I'd rather you didn't talk Red Sox, but
Oh well.
Are you fired up? Football's back. It's good to have it back,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
And you weren't ready for that Cowboys game.
I picked them. I picked the
You
Cowboys.
did?
I didn't.
I picked them.
Oh, I thought you were my friend.
I'm
Evan,
sorry.
I picked the Cowboys.
We were together versus the Yankee fans, and
I know.
what happened?
He's an Orioles fan. You don't want him on your side,
Well, I mean,
but he's also a Buccaneers fan.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, just because Tom Brady?
No.
No,
That's
it's
fine.
worse. He likes everything orange. If it's got orange, he's
Oh.
happy.
I can't blame him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good style.
No, yeah, your Cowboys. I had them. I thought they were going to win outright.
I thought they had played pretty dang good, surprisingly.
Lot of real minutes left for that team, and not a very strong East. They could very well take it down.
Oh yeah.
Who's your Super Bowl? Who's playing the Super Bowl?
Oh geez, that's a hard one.
Cowboys, Browns.
Oh, I don't. I mean, I hope. I doubt that.
What's new? What's going on? Is there anything new going on?
Well, I'm done with my infusions.
You're done?
I ring the gong.
Hey!
Congratulations,
Wow,
man.
That's so cool.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear.
And I played rec baseball and got a single.
I saw that. Your dad posted it on Facebook. That was that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. You look like Big Papi out there. You did. I liked it. I don't like Big Papi, but I like you, so it was all right.
I mean, close enough.
Big Papi tried to snitch on me once. It was a whole thing. It's we don't want to get into it. He almost got me in trouble. We going upstairs? Yeah, we're gonna go upstairs. We're gonna give away Dave Matthews Band tickets soon. So we're gonna head up there. But I just wanted to say hi to you, man. We missed you.
Awesome,
Missed
man. It's
you
good seeing you. I'm gonna
Tell your Red Sox to calm down. Okay, tell them to simmer down. All right, they're going upstairs to the Hideaway. You should as well, because again, we got Dave Matthews Band tickets. We're gonna be giving away, and the fun that is had. I always like focus it right on me. I don't know why.
No, it's okay. That's good.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Yankees. That's for sure. I mean, they won last night. It was nice. It was nice, but it was our friend Lynn who loves baseball and sports more than anyone. Text me. She's like, "Why do I let them do this to me? Why do I?" And then they came back and won. I'm like, you need to send me that text every night. I was like, I pretty much given up. I was like, I'm in football season after Cole like kind of just hobbled off the mound one time.
Boy, that was a really good game last night, though. The Mets and Yankees are going back and forth. A lot of action in it. And then, just seeing those standings in the wild card across the American League. It's going to be the final few games here in September. We said it on yesterday's show. The Yankees are going to have the possibility to punch their own ticket to the postseason. They just have to start recognizing that the postseason starts in late September. Like, that's when the games. And you know what? You can even argue now that it starts for them. Sure. The next 3 weeks, it's for them. They got to find out exactly what they're going to go through and make this happen.
So right now, you're tied for the second wild card. At the time of this taping, they're tied for the second wild card. I don't know. I just don't have the same faith in them because I just don't. They play great for a window. They get my hopes back up, and then they go on a 7-game losing streak. And then it's a lot. And I'd wonder sometimes if they have the. I like Aaron Boone. I just wonder if he's the guy who can push the right buttons for this team. And I'm not sure of it.
We're gonna find out very soon. And by the way, we've come to the Hideaway for a long time. If this is how the Bloody Marys are going to be today, oh my God!
Well, they're awesome.
Unbelievable.
They're phenomenal.
This might be the best Bloody Mary I've ever had here, and maybe I just missed it. And now you can come today and watch football with us and win prize. It's gonna be great.
Somebody's ears were ringing. Dr. Ear, hope you had a nice weekend. Hope you're ready for the Mets on Friday. Dr. Ear Integrated Sleep Center, Boston Spa, 518-885-6185. Helping me sleep better. Helping people, with a safe alternative to other sleep methods. And, proud sponsor of Levack and Goz. There you go. All right, is that it?
That's it.
All right. Like, subscribe.
The show's over.
Go.
Now the show's officially over.
I gotta go.
There he is.
I want
The great Tom Kirk is here.
Yeah, if I go vanishing, that's the guy who abducted me right there. That's him. His name isn't Steve. His name isn't Steve. It's a lie. All right, I gotta go.
All right, let's go drink some Bloody Marys and watch.
Comment, subscribe, sacrifice a goat. I like the sacrifice a goat. I like that's a good thing you added in. The Godzilla Media way to sacrificing goats. Shotgun. Have you seen? Is that the sorting hat? Oh, he's got.
Kill that hand off. See, this is something we couldn't do on the old traditional media land. Now we can actually stare at people while we do this.
It's a cool hat. I want to wear it. I lost complete focus on what I was doing when I saw it.
We were signing off, but we decided not to.
I lost complete focus. I did.
You can follow all the Godzilla Media podcasts.
By the way, he's now using his putter to rest his penis. Look.
Oh, my God. See if you can get back on there.
I can't do it.
All right, it's fine.
I can't do it.
Next week we'll be here as well.
I thought this was the biggest deck. I had no idea. I had no clue.
Another
I love golf courses. But look, we're at the Hideaway. We're going to be here actually every Sunday for at least the next month or so. We're going to be here. We got CJ the Golf Pro walking around. A lot of great people, a lot of great fun as always. It's a beautiful place, beautiful golf course. Still some time left to get out there and swing the clubs for yourselves. Like, subscribe, comment, win a roller derby contest, and that'll show us that you care about the show. That's all we ask. It's not a lot. Start a bonfire somewhere. That's what I was gonna ask you. Have you seen the? We have to link it maybe. Have you seen the video of the girl who's about to shotgun a seltzer? So she's about to shotgun a seltzer, and her friends next to her, they're doing that stupid, just, I'm on TikTok. And instead of drinking it, the girl blows the drink on the other girl. It's phenomenal. It's my dream to do that to someone, and now I've warned you all. So if it happens to you, it's your own damn fault. All right, Levack and Goz, we're back. What, Tuesday we're gonna do one?
Tuesday, Techies Tuesdays, we're calling
Techies Tuesday. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Thanks to Techies Fire and Water Restoration. Your best way back normal. Happy birthday to Mike Corda. Tom Girk is walking around not giving us free drinks because that's how he rolls. And I've just started. I haven't even really started drinking yet. I'm just ready to go. Now I'm fired up. Maybe you should just tape this and we post whatever happens next.
Enjoy the NFL action.
All right, go
Bye
Raiders.
forever.
Good luck to all your teams. Unless you're a Ravens fan, then bleep you. That's all there is to it. Let's go Raiders. Have a good one, guys.